In a lonely cave outside Mecca, a man said an invisible being crushed him and commanded him to read, even though he was illiterate and there was nothing there to read. This moment became the foundation of Islam. But does the Cave of Hira truly point to God, or does it reveal something else? This video is not an attack on Muslims. It is an honest investigation of one single event, the night Islam began. When we slow the story down, compare it with the Bible, and examine what happened logically, the Cave of Hira raises questions most people have never heard. It is Mecca, around the year 610 AD. The Kaaba is surrounded by 360 idols. Arabia is filled with spiritual confusion. A man named Muhammad retreats to a mountain called Jabal al-Nur, the mountain of light, seeking peace and answers. Inside a small cave called Hira, he spends nights alone in meditation. One night, a presence enters the cave. Islamic sources say the being did not clearly introduce itself. It simply commanded one word, Iqra. Muslims today are often told this means recite, but the word Iqra actually means read. Reading requires a text, a written object in front of you. But in that cave, there was no book, no scroll, and no writing. Muhammad answers honestly, I cannot read. The being then seizes him, crushing him with overwhelming force. He thinks he is going to die. It releases him, then commands again, read. Again he says, I cannot read. It crushes him a second time, a third time. This behavior does not resemble the angel Gabriel in the Bible, who brings peace, clarity, and reassurance. It looks far more like a spiritual attack. After the third crushing, the being speaks the first verses of the Quran. Read in the name of your Lord who created man from a clot. This introduces a serious problem. Embryos are not clots of blood. This reflects an ancient medical idea, not accurate science from the creator of life. Terrified, Muhammad flees the cave and runs down the mountain. This is not the calm confidence of someone who has met a holy angel. This is the panic of someone who believes he has been harmed. At home, he cries out, "Cover me! Cover me!" Shaking and in fear for himself, he is wrapped and comforted by his wife, Khadijah. She reassures him based on his character, that God would not disgrace someone who is kind to family, generous to the poor, and truthful. But emotional comfort is not the same as theological certainty. Khadijah then takes him to her cousin, Waraka ibn Nawfal, a man familiar with Christian writings. After hearing what happened, Waraka says, "This was the same angel who came to Moses." Notice what this means. The being itself did not say, "I am Gabriel." God did not speak from heaven to confirm it. Even Khadijah was not sure. It was Waraka, a human being, who gave that interpretation. And shortly afterwards, Waraka died. The very first revelation of Islam rests on the opinion of one man who was not in the cave. After this encounter, something strange happens. The revelations stop. Weeks pass, months pass. Islamic sources say Muhammad became so distressed during this silent period, called Fatra al-Wahi, that he contemplated throwing himself off cliffs. This is not the pattern of divine commissioning we see in the Bible. So let's pause and examine the Cave of Hira logically. First, we have an impossible command, read, when there is no text and the man is illiterate. Second, we have violence, not peace. A holy angel in Scripture never crushes a prophet 3 times to the point of terror. Third, we have a scientific error. Created from a clot does not match what we know about human development. Fourth, we have human confirmation instead of divine confirmation. It is Waraka, not God, who says this was the angel of Moses. Fifth, we see psychological fruits of fear, confusion, silence, and despair. The Bible tells us, "Do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God." When we test the Cave of Hira by this standard, it does not look like the work of the true God. In the Bible, angels bring peace and clarity. God identifies himself clearly. Prophets are called with purpose, not left in despair. Most importantly, God's final revelation is not a book delivered through crushing fear. It is a person, Jesus Christ, the Word made flesh. The Cave of Hira does not resemble biblical revelation. It looks much more like spiritual deception, or at the very least, something that does not come from the God of the Bible. If this made you think, share it with someone who is seeking truth. Like, subscribe, and comment if you want more videos examining the foundations of Islam, the Quran, and how they compare to the Bible. Truth can handle questions.